What is up, everyone? If you don't know me, my name is Ishaan. I'm a first year graduate student in Planetary Sciences at Purdue, and we are officially finished with the second week of my second semester. To recap this week, it was extremely busy, dude. Like my typical schedule was like starting work around maybe like 9:30, 10. Some days 10:30, finishing around 6, 6:30, then gym, chores. So uh, and then I usually do like some work after the gym too, but like maybe for like 30 minutes or an hour or something. So it's not the craziest, but no, it's been extremely busy. So I need to make some time for myself to recuperate, rest, and recharge. Assignment frequency going up, reading frequency going up. There's a minimum of 4 papers that I have to read each week, regardless of anything else that's going on, and do some assignments based on that. Then my AI and machine learning course that I'm taking on Coursera. I recently started the second course on neural networks and decision trees, and I'm like 55% ish done with that. So hopefully in the next week or two, I'll also be done with that course. And I'm pretty excited, man. I've been practicing a lot of neural network questions and explanations with ChatGPT, which, by the way, a great hack to study if you know or understand a topic and want to test your knowledge. Just like ask ChatGPT in voice mode to like ask you questions and test your shit while also telling it to fill in any gaps that you may not have mentioned in the answers, and also if there's better ways to explain something or if there's an easier way to explain something. It's been a great practice for me, and that's been one of the ways I've been practicing explaining neural networks, because I know for a fact I'll have to do it in the future to someone because it's part of my research. And then I'm also working on my traditional thermochemistry modeling project, for which I'm currently running some calculations for validating with some existing data to see how the models do on existing data, and then after that we'll do some new simulations to see what kind of results we get. And this week, another new addition to my project load has been my manuscript that I've been writing for my summer 2024 project. It was with my mentor slash advisor for the last month to make feedback, to make edits and give feedback. And now that it's come back to me, I have to incorporate the edits, run calculations for some of them. Oh man, it's work, but it's work that I chose for myself, and I'm also really excited to keep working on it and wrap it up, because if I can get that manuscript submitted in the next couple of months, like that's still less than a year out from when I first did the project, so it's a decent timeline. It's actually a very expedited timeline still. The usual expectation is that each project you do will likely be published in like a year or maybe even more, depending on the project. Now that we've recapped the week, let me head into some learnings, which is really the key part for me. Number one, prioritizing is key. I love working. I genuinely do. And the thing is that when I prioritize something, I'm not someone who looks at, oh, is it non-work hours? Is it Saturday, Sunday? Like what day is it? I don't really give a fuck, bro. If something's gotta get done, I'm gonna get that shit done. Whether that is on a weekday or it's on a weekend. But I have to be mindful that a PhD, school, literally anything, any project, it's only a part of your life. It's not your entire life. So even if that is a priority for you now, understand and realize that it can't be your priority forever. Like, which is why you have to be more balanced and approach your life in a holistic way, that you're taking care of your school stuff, but you're also taking care of yourself and your personal growth as well. And I have to remind myself of this frequently when workload starts to get more, because then it takes away time from my personal development activities, gym, meditation, journaling, reflections, like all these things that I also do, social media, like all the things that I do in addition to the school stuff. Like I also want to be mindful that I'm making time for those things. Priorities. Everything is a part of your life, not your entire life. So treat it as such. The second learning I got this week was you don't have to be friends with the people you work with in your PhD program. Excuse me. And this was something that initially I came in with the assumption that, since we're all in school, since we're all doing the same PhD, like, or even like similar fields, we would be friends. But that assumption came from my undergrad experience, which was, it just was very easy to make friends with like anyone that you're with. Though personally, I've always had a hard time deeply connecting with people, and I'm just not a fan of superficial friendships anymore. So I have to be mindful and remind myself that it's okay that I'm not friends with people that I work with. Like they can be acquaintances and work colleagues, and that's perfectly fine. And that's a mindset that I learned through my tech experience when I was working at the healthcare company Epic, because I was working with a diverse array of people, like different age groups, and there was no way for you to be friends with some of these people outside of work. Like your values just don't align, and when someone's not a vibrational match for you, and even in a friendship, you don't have to stay in that friendship. Like you need to have the self respect to walk away and dedicate that time to what's more of a priority for you. And I just it just was interesting to see how things played out, because I feel like there were certain friendships that I tried to put in more effort for or tried to make work, but it just wasn't there from the other side. And as weird or hurtful it may feel at times, you have to be true to yourself. And if that's how you express or try to make friendships, that's perfectly fine. But when you see and recognize the point of how the other person is not reciprocating that energy, then you also need to have the self-respect to walk away. And I've danced with this learning for a few years now, that I feel extremely comfortable being able to walk away from situations and then be able to reflect on these things and talk about it on camera. Like probably would not have been able to do that a couple years ago. And the last learning from this week is ask questions even if they seem stupid. Bro, ask the boldest questions, especially with your advisor. I feel like so many people, students, like people that I speak to, are scared to like ask something in a group setting or in a class or to a professor, because they're like, oh, they're gonna think I don't know anything. I'm like, bro, the whole point of us being here is to learn and grow. And even if it's a fundamental concept that you may not know, like your chances are you're not the only person like that in that setting. So ask your questions and ask them boldly. The goal is to learn, the goal is to grow. The goal is not to hide or pretend that you know everything, or that you have to impress someone or anything like that, or impress your advisor even. Like you already in the program, you belong there, and now it's time for you to step up and really start to battle those inner shortcomings and ask those questions, because if you don't, you are going to miss something in your research. And I'm saying this so confidently because I've done that several times. Like even just now, I realized that there was a question that I should have asked my summer advisor last year during the summer project, but I didn't. And it now I have to work on that question months later. Like it's not the biggest deal that if you don't ask it, like it's, well, eventually it will come to bite you in the ass. That's what I'm saying. So if there's something that you're curious about, or you just don't know, don't understand, and you need to actually do the part that you have in your research, ask those questions, bro, and ask them boldly. You belong there, and just because you have to learn something from someone else that's better than you in a certain field, like you have to put your ego aside and do exactly that, because that's what you're here for. mostly just reminding myself of these things, because I sometimes forget. My ego does come into play, and I'm like, damn, like I know so much, blah 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 blah. But like, there's also times when I don't know anything, and you have you have to be comfortable with that. You have to be comfortable in any sort of setting to be able to learn and grasp new concepts. A very powerful skill that will help you not just now in school, but beyond that as well. Those are the learnings, and then next week's focus is going to be on, of course, working on the manuscript changes, keeping on with my AI and machine learning course, readings for my classes, quizzes, and finishing assignments, pre-class things, and the modeling project for traditional thermochemistry things. Also, I have to start devising a new script for my science outreach videos that I do with Purdue Superheroes of Science. So I'll brainstorm some script ideas and get a new series going, so we can get recorded on a new series of videos that are posted on my YouTube channel, but also on Purdue Superheroes of Science YouTube channel. So go check that out as well. With that said, those are all the reflections that I had for this week. And wow, we're 11 minutes. You know, I've been thinking about how I've been yapping so much in some of my previous videos, especially like last 2 weeks, that it came out to like 20 minutes and shit. And I'm like, I kind of want to cut that down a little bit, because it shouldn't, I shouldn't be just yapping tangentially all the time. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I hope you got something out of it. If anything resonated with your personal experiences, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for sticking with me. I truly appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you in next week's video.